Welcome to the live stream. Welcome. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be a great day, right? So, we need to talk about Bitcoin. We need to go right into it today. No dilly-dallying. Let's just get to it. Actually, let me refresh my chart template because, or I should just edit this one right now to do what I want it to do. Right, because I actually already have this set up the way I want it to, so 275. Beautiful. Right, since that's our mean reversion pivot, let's see how this bad boy plays out. All right, you ready? Let's do this. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. I would be very happy to point out the few important key differences that is happening today on Bitcoin. And I am particularly excited about what's just around the corner in terms of mean reversion, okay? It's important to know that when your longest overexpanded period is the 275, right? We're gonna load up a 275 band like I have here, right? And once we actually enter that band and define the pivot for mean reversion, it is heavily implied that we need to revert to that relative mean before trend can continue, okay? So what's nice about this is this trend continuation that we're waiting for here, right? It will not continue until the 275 wave PM value, which is listed over here, right? We will not get trend continuation until this value is below the 0.7, or rather that period is below the 0.7 value, okay? Right, because that means we have sufficiently shed enough mass to allow for the continuation of trend. So, I really need to say this, right? The chances of this signal of failing is probably 1 in 30, right? Since as soon as we actually define the mean reversion pivot, right, we expect the roll down to the 275 mean. And what's even better about this, right, is what we're able to catch off this information is we can further identify superior entry into this trade, right? So think about this. We want to wait for 1/10 of that period CCI to roll down. So right now that's the 27 period. When we break up above the 27 period and we roll back down, as soon as that happens, that is going to be the ideal short entry onto Bitcoin, okay? Like, it will not get better than that short entry right there, okay? And now we're just all along to the right waiting for that CCI roll, and when that hits, we're going to expect either one of the two following scenarios. Bitcoin will trade laterally like so, while the mean is given time to catch up with the price action, okay? That's called lateral mean reversion. Option number 2. So when that CCI rolls down, price is going to rocket straight to the relative mean. We're just going to plow straight down right to that mean. And that's a lot less likely. I am kind of expecting a blend between the two where we sort of trickle down slowly with that, you know, I'm sure we can draw the same trend lines everyone else is drawing, right? Down to that mean. Okay? But really, the important part is we need to touch down on that relative mean before trend can even have a chance to continue, right? That's what's so significant about this. And you can actually look at the 3D wave PM as well, as we see those longer periods radiating upwards all the way up to that 275 period. Okay? Of course, if we were to look at the, say, weekly chart, it is important to note that we can still expect a secondary retest of the weekly 200 moving average, right? It's very important to note that any kind of sustainable trending that's going to happen on Bitcoin here is going to need sufficient bounces right on top of that weekly 200 moving average for quite a long time. And I might have drawn that a little bit too far. We might actually get I will admit, a bull run by 2021. That might happen, right? But the point is, we still need the compression of all these distributions around price so we can shed mass and store up enough potential energy to actually allow for sustainable trend to happen. All right, that's about it for today's Trading View idea. It has been a pleasure. Dad Shark out. Nice. Good work, guys. Great job. Let's see what the YouTube's comments say today. Hi, friends. Dominic wants me to look at USD Japanese yen. I'd be happy to. Okay. 15-minute looks kind of nice. Let's start on the top down, though, right? Got to start on the weekly. Any benchmarks we need to worry about? Not from the looks of it. Still seeing that longer term mean reversion on the 4-hour chart, though. That's the important signal, right? We had this huge dump. We generated a lot of mass, and as soon as we crossed the relative mean reversion pivots, well, then the rest was history, right? As far as Forex goes, this was probably your best bet for a while with that 450 band. And you can look at the previous live streams about 2 months ago just to actually look at this kind of information, right? The 450 band is the longest overexpanded period, right? And this is the same signal we're seeing on Bitcoin right now, guys, right? Where we re-enter the band, right? As soon as that 45 period CCI rolls up, which happened right here, price will revert to the relative 450 mean, excuse me. Right? Like clockwork. This happens in every market with insane efficiency. And a cat with charts did say something nice before, like, why isn't this kind of signal more heavily abused by institutional investors? I'll tell you the theory. It's because institutional investors like to trade the expansion, right, the actual definition of trend, but they don't like to trade the compression, right, because it doesn't scale with their kind of order flow, right? If their order flow is too large, well, if they attempt to actually start buying positions that match this, then they're just immediately going to push them into price. And if you do that, well, what's the point of the compression at all, right? It's much more likely that institutional investors would rather trade the alignment of expectations rather than the compression of the distributions. That's really interesting to think about. But yeah, as soon as we re-entered the tag, the 3.2 standard deviation there, yeah, we hopped up. But really, what I need to recommend is any kind of trade that we're waiting for here. Really, it just needs to tag that 450 moving average. So any kind of bullish entry you can get to roll up to that mean, that's going to be your best bet. Obviously, we missed out on our long opportunities over here. But, you know, with the right kind of weighting, if you get the right long signal, it's going to treat you very well. TRX entered the daily mean reversion band. Whew, yes, it did. Yeah, I've been waiting for a short entry on that rail pretty strongly, right? Interesting note, though. All right, it's the 120 band up here. So what's important to know is even though we have implied mean reversion from about here down to here, right? Nothing moves in a straight line. It's kind of interesting to note that we've actually generated mass on this downward move as well. Right, this new downward expansion we're getting is generating its own mass. And because of that, well, that's going to have its own mean reversion pivots as well. And let's see if we can actually define those pivots. It might be too gradual of a slope to actually get a reactionary move out the back. But still waiting for the 3D wave painting to load up. Give her a moment. Yeah, Cairo, the answer to your question, can we rejoin the trend in USD Japanese yen, trading USD pairs? How can volatility theory help us in joining the trend? Yeah, that's called trading the expansion over trading the compression. And expansion trading is much more reliant on wave PM signals to define new breakouts, right? Like this right here, where we have no volatility overhead and we're getting net expansion all in the same direction, right? That indicates the beginning of trend. And that requires a much more on-hands approach. You really need to sit there and watch the charts in the short term to catch those kinds of entries. So that's why I don't call those kind of trades, because they're very time sensitive. Okay, well, we're just going to move on. Point being, we need to have a short-term upward mean reversion. We can't define those pivots because it doesn't want to load, but we need something like that, and then you'll get your short entry on a CCI roll down, right? And if I recall correctly, you want a 12-period CCI roll down on the daily chart for TRX, okay? That's going to be your answer. BCH, ABC, please. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Okay, let's define this out for you, okay? Longest overexpanded period is 180. So, guess what value we wicked down to? Yeah, this is the reason I'm bullish on this chart. We will be defined by this range here. Let me draw it out for you. Okay, this here. That's going to be our range. I chose to enter directly on the mean because trend implied up. So, because we have an upward implied trend, and we're bouncing off the relative mean that we needed to bounce on, trend continuation is implied, and short-term resistance is going to be around that value there. Okay. So it's a really clean chart. I like it. Cairo asks, how do you join a trend that is already developed? The answer is quad CCI strategy, right? Got any other questions for me, folks? Gotta tell me the outlines you want me to look at. I guess I could also look at the one sec, BCH BTC, BCH ABC BTC. What a nuisance! Yeah, really on this perspective, I'm just betting on trend continuation. All right, if we're getting this compressing lateral range, I just want to catch that swing low and see if it rolls up. All right, the profit ratio is really good there. If we get any new kind of downward expansion, which we'll see because we have no volatility overhead, right? Any kind of new expansion here is going to really run off. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. Even if direction is not yet implied. Do I think Euro USD will continue down? Let's check. No. Yeah, I don't think this is going to continue down for the time being. Can I give you a better reason than that, though? Yeah, we got the new impulse around the previous price points, so... Like all our CCI periods are starting to roll up, and which is great for range trading. So we have a very defined range, and when you get those CCI rolls, it's a pretty good idea to take them. IOST, yeah, I've heard things about that recently. I haven't looked at it yet. Why Bifinex? IOST BTC. Sorry, I'm starting to get a little carpal tunnel in my left hand there. I woke up with it. Probably a good idea to go take some Tylenol. Ooh. You see this? That's a breakout. That is a breakout. Yeah, that's a really clean breakout. Look at that. Look at that signal. It's all net expansion to the upside. That's good. Yeah, if you want to bet that this trend is beginning, that's not the worst idea. I would just wait for the relative entry signal. We might get a dip down before trend continuation. That's what I would wait for here, guys. It's a good chart. Check out GBPUSD. I'm gonna go climb Goat Mountain today. It's 7 miles. It's supposed to be pretty hard. I'm gonna take my hiking poles. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was probably a good opportunity to run quad CCI strategy on this kind of thing. You know, you got good risk management. Probably wait for that CCI roll there and wait for trend continuation. I know that's a really simple answer, but it's effective. Okay, last chart for the day, unless you guys get anything else for you, and then I'm gonna try to get out pretty early because since it's a hard trail, I don't want to get it darking. I don't want it getting dark on me. Okay, so Litecoin tag the 3.2 or the. Okay, this is really interesting, right? Usually when we tag the 3.2 standard deviation on the 4 hour, it results in rejection, like here or here. It's quite probable that we're getting a lateral move that's distribution, right? Supporting the price while the mean reversion pivots are crossed and then actually following up with a selling action. So I guess we have technically crossed short-term mean reversion pivots here, right? CCI roll down into this position would treat you rather well. Just look for the short-term short. Really, this is going to be a retracement trade into trend continuation because it's really hard to continue expanding price up beyond those benchmarks there. So, yeah, I'm going to predict that after a little bit of sideways action, we'll see retracement, and then we'll just revert to the mean of the longest over expanded period before trend continuation, okay? It has been a pleasure. I will talk to you guys all later, and stay charmy out there. See you guys.